Something about the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation just doesn't make sense. Week after week, fans watch Dillon Gabriel struggle on the field. Missed throws, stalled drives, and zero momentum. Yet for some reason, Shedeur Sanders, one of the most talked about rookies in college football, remains stuck on the sidelines. The coaching staff insists it's all part of the plan. Development takes time, they say, but how much time does it take to recognize when something clearly isn't working? There's no quarterback controversy, because the Browns won't even allow one to begin. No whispers from teammates, no leaks from inside the building. Just silence. And that silence is starting to sound a lot like fear. Is Shedeur being held back because he's not ready, or because he's too ready? Today, we're digging into what's really going on in Cleveland. The excuses, the front office strategy, the spin, and whether the Browns are about to make the same devastating mistake they've made for the last 20 years. Because the clock is ticking, and fans have seen this story before. On paper, Dillon Gabriel was supposed to be a safe bet, steady, experienced, and easy to coach. But through 5 starts, the results have been anything but promising. Missed reads, inaccurate passes, drives that go nowhere. And yet, Cleveland's coaching staff remains all in on him, at least publicly. Offensive coordinator Tony Rizzo recently offered a long list of reasons for Gabriel's poor performances, blaming the weather, miscommunications, even the occasional slip of a throwing hand. He framed it as a natural developmental phase. Rookies miss throws, he said. Sometimes it just happens. But fans aren't buying it. Week after week, they're watching a quarterback collapse under pressure, while another, far more explosive option waits on the sideline. Gabriel might be mentally sharp, as the coaches claim, but physical execution matters, and in the NFL, patience wears thin when losses start stacking up, especially when there's a flashy, precise, and highly marketable rookie waiting in the wings. The loyalty to Dillon Gabriel isn't just puzzling, it's starting to look deliberate. And that's where Shedeur Sanders enters the conversation. Every great quarterback room has competition, but in Cleveland, it feels one-sided. While Dillon Gabriel continues to struggle, Shedeur Sanders remains untouched, untested, and unnaturally quiet. And yet, the reports from practice tell a different story. According to insiders like Mary Kay Cabot, Shedeur has shown elite accuracy, sharp decision-making, and a confidence rare for a rookie. She's even said, he throws a beautiful ball. He's very, very accurate. It's not just hype, it's production. So why hasn't that translated into playing time? It's not just fans asking the question anymore. Commentators like Tony Rizzo are publicly wondering what's going on behind the scenes. Is Shedeur being protected, shelved, or intentionally sidelined because the organization fears what starting him might reveal? Not about him, but about their decision-making. Some believe the Browns are digging in stubbornly on their original plan. Others think they regret ever drafting Shedeur in the first place. Whatever the reason, one thing is certain. When a talent like Shedeur gets buried without explanation, it casts a long shadow over everything the team says. And that silence is starting to speak volumes. At this point, the situation feels too quiet to be normal. In a league where whispers travel fast, you'd expect leaks, anonymous quotes, or even locker room tension around a quarterback controversy. But with Shedeur, nothing. Tony Rizzo even joked he'd have to sneak into the Browns facility just to figure out what's going on. That's how tight-lipped this has become. No players demanding a change, no frustrated comments off the record, just silence. Compare that to the Johnny Manziel era, where every disagreement between players and coaches was leaked like clockwork. Back then, the noise was constant. Today, it's like a lid's been screwed tightly shut, which raises the question, is this by design? Are the Browns keeping Shedeur on ice not because he's unprepared, but because they're hiding from the possibility that he might actually be too good and expose that Dylan was the wrong choice from the start? Because if Shedeur steps in and shines, someone in that front office is going to have a lot of explaining to do, and it might already be too late to cover it up. Publicly, the Browns are doing everything they can to appear unified. Mary Kay Cabot insists that head coach Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry are in total agreement about the quarterback plan. No drama, no fractures, just organizational alignment. But let's be real. When has the Browns front office ever truly operated without behind-the-scenes tension? Even more suspicious is that back in training camp, ownership openly stated they wanted both rookie quarterbacks to get playing time this season. That was the plan. So why hasn't it happened? Right now, what we're seeing doesn't feel like unity. It feels like hesitation. Maybe they're afraid to admit they were wrong about Gabriel. Or maybe they never wanted Shedeur in the first place. And handing in the offense would be a quiet admission of failure. When a team's decisions start feeling more political than strategic, it's usually the fans who pay the price. And if Shedeur keeps sitting while the team keeps sliding, it won't be long before the locker room starts asking questions too. If the Browns were simply losing because of Dylan Gabriel's performance, the controversy might be louder. But that's the thing. It's not just him. Special teams blunders, missed kicks, blown returns. It's like every unit is taking turns imploding. That gives the front office cover. They can blame the losses on everything except the quarterback, and in doing so, delay the inevitable question. Why hasn't Shedeur Sanders taken a single meaningful snap? Insiders suggest it's still too early. But when the team's already spiraling and the playoffs are slipping away, when exactly is the right time? It almost feels tactical, like they're letting the season burn out before turning to Shedeur. That way, expectations are lower and no one in the front office has to answer for waiting too long. But this isn't just a rookie development year anymore. This is a team with a defense strong enough to compete and a quarterback problem that's getting harder to explain. And if the Browns don't pivot soon, the whole season might turn out to be one giant missed opportunity. For Browns fans, this deja vu cuts deep. Quarterback chaos isn't new in Cleveland. It's basically tradition. From Johnny Manziel to Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Kaiser, the Browns have made a habit of either ruining young quarterbacks or backing the wrong ones for way too long. It's not just bad luck, it's a pattern. Every time, the team claims they're sticking to the plan. They preach patience. They circle the wagons around mistakes until things completely fall apart. Then, the narrative shifts from support to scapegoating, usually too late to fix the damage. Now, it's Dylan Gabriel caught in that cycle. And once again, a promising young talent. This time, Shedeur Sanders is standing on the sidelines while the train derails in slow motion. The franchise has become so haunted by the ghosts of past QB failures, they're scared to pull the trigger, even when it's obvious. And the longer they ignore it, the more it starts to feel like it's not just bad decisions. It's a curse they keep choosing to repeat. At some point, the Browns will run out of excuses. The losses are piling up, the offense is stagnant, and their most intriguing quarterback remains untouched. Shedeur Sanders might not be the guaranteed answer, but how will anyone know if he's never given the chance? This isn't just about who starts at quarterback. It's about a deeper issue: fear. The fear of being wrong. The fear of disruption. The fear of change in a franchise that has worn failure like a second jersey for decades. But here's the truth. Great teams don't wait for perfect timing. They recognize moments. And right now, this moment is slipping through Cleveland's hands. Every week Shedeur sits is another week wasted. Another step backward when this team, this fan base, deserves to move forward. The Browns can cling to development narratives all they want. But if they refuse to give Shedeur his shot, they're not just holding him back. They're holding the entire future of the franchise hostage. And the clock is ticking.